can I say one more thing, Hiller? And this, I was wondering what your opinion is on this, which is fascinating to me. You're saying that to think that she's not on steroids or some performance enhancing drugs is tantamount to believing in Santa Claus.
Hold on.
In my head, yes.
And that's fair. But the fact that we have no hard evidence, that we don't have video of her shooting herself up, is to actually believe in Santa Claus if you think she's on it. You have to make this a leap. And it was crazy that I even made a comment in YouTube. All the comments are people who are believing your story and then responding to your story that there's no actual proof of. It's just circumstance. It's just a best guess.
Supposedly he has this secret folder that he will not open up, that he's got more data on. And I don't understand why you guys don't want to just open up to that, because it would just alleviate all the stress of this.
Because he has some boundaries. He has some boundaries.
How is it that your buddies are the people that you know take? Do they know one another?
Yeah, they all know each other.
There you go.
But I mean, I guess at the point that it's still, I've never seen.
There's your folder. All right,
I've never seen these people do it. I've just had them tell me they were doing it. So unless Tia told you,
do they talk in circles?
What's
that?
They
talk amongst one another? Like it
doesn't matter.
Two of them, the three of them, and you.
I'm getting my data directly from the horse's mouth. You are getting your data from other people saying.
Do you not see what I'm trying to say?
No, I don't. I just
how did they end up taking? Where did it come from?
You're still getting it from somebody else's mouth.
A friend of a friend. A friend of a friend.
Did
your buddy, your other buddy?
Did Tia come to you and say, "Hey, I'm doing it"? Did she?
No.
Even if she did, you still wouldn't know.
But I'm just saying. So she didn't do that.
If you were to get shit, where would you get it from?
A drug dealer. But if a drug dealer told you that, hey, man, I just sold 100 bucks of drugs, you're taking based off the word of a drug dealer, a low integrity person to begin with, because they're fucking selling drugs.
I'm not even saying that. I'm doing another one of the things that you hate, which is I barely even have fucking proof, but it's like the main correlate.
But that's it. That's the problem these days is people can make accusations and make statements, and then there's no consequences. And I'm not saying you deserve consequences, but when people talk shit on the internet these days, back in the day, you used to be like, hey, we're going to duel now because you said this on the internet and I don't believe it. And I'm going to you either apologize or I'm going to fucking shoot you in the gut tomorrow. Like that's really how things used to be handled. Dueling one way to handle discrepancies. And nowadays, it's just like there's so many layers between people actually having to hold themselves accountable for statements. It kind of sucks. And I'm not saying you're a bad person, but I want some fucking meat on the bone if someone's going to make a statement, and I don't see any meat on your bone. That's my point.
I can't argue with that. You're not much of a moderator, but I can't argue with the fact that I don't have meat
I am
on the
moderator.
bone.
I really, Sevan's not asking very direct questions to moderate.
You didn't even come after Sevan at all.
I told Sevan. Sevan just keeps on saying, and I don't support Sevan at all. And
because I'm trying to help him sell his salt.
No, this has nothing to do with that. It's because I tell Sevan every single time I try to have this conversation with Sevan, he goes, I just don't believe it. That's not an argument point. That's just him not believing in Santa versus you believing in Santa. He's got no structure to actually support his argument. And his argument's
just way easier to have.
Not necessarily. That
is true. I mean, of course it is, right? Because I'm like, okay, show me the test. My bandwidth for needing proof is so like I can't accuse someone of something unless like I saw them do it. And even then, I'm like, is that David Blaine? Like, how do I know he really levitated?
I'll ask you this, though, Sevan. Do you think what he's doing holds no ground whatsoever, opening up the door to these conversations?
And I'm going to say something I really don't want to say. I'm not going to say it. I'm going to avoid it.
This is for you.
No.
If you put a gun to my head and had me guess on whether certain people are doing steroids or not, and I had to choose, my opinions are different than what I'm willing to say publicly.
Mine are.
I know you're sorry. That being said, I just keep thinking about holy fuck. And I'm obviously close with Andrew. I just keep thinking over and over, holy fuck, he said this about Tia. It's like there's these elements that I'm concerned about. She's in our tribe. I feel like he's shit in the kitchen. We have no real proof. Like, I think that if people say stuff like the sport would be destroyed if Matt or Tia ever popped. I don't even think that's true. I think the whole thing just chugs along. It's like people say, where would CrossFit be without Rich? It would be the same place where it is now. It's all those statements are just asinine. But I just think on a personal level, I couldn't stand in a room with Tia and look her in the eyes or Shane in the eyes and accuse them of something like that, because it seems unethical to me.
My God's fucked right now. Well, you also blindly believe in CrossFitters because you are a CrossFitter. And that's a tough stance to be on. When you and I initially had our conversation about performance enhancing drugs, you just refused to believe the fact that it was possible. And if I'm trying to be the mediator, I do appreciate the fact Sevan's trying to get you to kind of think about your actions before doing the next one potentially. What you've done is already out there. But I
think the box is open. I think it's just now it's just a snowball going down a hill.
You got to appreciate Hiller for being the first person to take a stab at it. It may not have been perfect the first go around, but dude, second go around, we can make this thing, third go around, we can make this thing better.
Matthew, your mom is on my pipe right now.
Damn.
By making this thing better, do you suggest I don't make the claim within the video about what I think and just kind of leave it open to interpretation?
I think you can claim whatever the heck you want. I think